everyone, my name is Valeria and I am a content creator on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, mother of three, well, four, including my husband, a holistic nutritionist, and a founder and creative director for Valeria. I started on social media actually through YouTube. When I finished my holistic nutrition school, I really wanted to find an outlet where I can share the information that I had for free to a larger audience. I actually started with a blog, and that didn't really work out well because 2017, the written word was already going down. So that kind of pushed me to discover a new platform that will help me to spread that information for free and reach a bigger audience. I was extremely surprised to find that YouTube is not just a platform to host music videos and cat videos. Surprise, surprise. And that's when I discovered the whole world of content creation. From there, it naturally developed into a few other subjects, a few other interests that that were part of my life. So that became my pillars for my personal brand, which is wellness, family, beauty, and fashion. And that's kind of how it naturally developed to be what it is today. Today, I want to share with you and talk to you about why video content is queen. Why video content is queen. Let's start. So let's start with the first thing is the human attention span. I'm sure that all of you heard, but it is getting very short. I even know from personal experience, we get over things real fast. So Microsoft actually did the work for us and did a little bit of research showing that a human's attention span is 8 seconds. And it just gets shorter and shorter for Gen Z and for younger generation. And they also prefer to get that content in a visual form. So it is hard anyways to just get anyone's attention today because there's so much going on everywhere. So making sure that visually you're attracting your audience is already a very important thing to remember. It was also found through Facebook that people spend about 1.7 seconds on looking at content. So just by these statistics that are available for all of us, you can see that it's very, very important to grab people's attention right away. And what better way to share information, share your personality, hook someone in than doing it in a video form. Adaptability is key. Trust me, I know how difficult it is to keep track of everything that's going on, but it is part of a content creator's job to be on top of knowing which new features are coming out on the platform you use, which new platforms are coming out. 2020 was a crazy year for TikTok. It really put short form video into the spotlight and changed a lot of things for us. So Instagram was really kicking off with IGTV and IG Lives. TikTok came into play and pushed a whole new way of creating content, with Instagram also introducing Reels and then YouTube introducing YouTube Shorts. Now, being on top of it and figuring out a way how you can be present on those features as well is extremely important. Now, I do have to mention there are a lot of things going on there. There's every week, I feel like there's a new social network, and you want to make sure that you check them out before you committing and put your energy into creating content for these features or new platforms. So definitely make sure to play around with it and then kind of see where you fit in. I cannot tell you how awkward it felt to me to get on TikTok as a 30-year-old mother. It was not my environment, but through using it and kind of keeping up with what's going on, I found a way to put my personal brand on that platform. Which brings me to the concept of adapting to trends. In 2020, 2021, and especially with TikTok, we really saw a huge uptick when it comes to different trends that are happening. If it's sounds, if it's transitions, if it's different fit checks, like there were so many categories that had a lot of things happening in them. So definitely something that I highly recommend is to look at the discovery page on TikTok. What's great about all these social platforms is that they're all kind of work together. So it's not like you necessarily have to create different content for each of them. I find that whenever I do any trending things on TikTok, I post it on Instagram. It's a different audience and they also respond really well, sometimes even better than on TikTok. So today I find that I use TikTok as a tool to find trends with transitions, with music, with dancing. All of those things is just an easier way, because it's very short form, to find what's going on in the world today. Dynamic content. So I started on YouTube about 5-6 years ago, and looking back at the videos that I used to make then and the way I was editing them is very, very interesting, because you see how much has changed with the way I present myself, with the way I speak, the speed of the way I speak, and also the editing. It's been really showing the progress of social media and how people consume information. I also recently have shifted my focus on short content, more dynamic content for Instagram and TikTok. And I truly feel like there is room for both of them. You just have to make sure that you understand where you're putting each content. Very often I see content creators make the mistake of putting very valuable, informative content on platforms that don't necessarily know how to host long, informative content. So I think that, first of all, identify what it is that you're trying to say. What is your messaging? If you're trying to bring information, you're trying to bring value, you can do it in a short form that will be way easier content to digest through Instagram or TikTok, or you can really make it into a much more educational long form that will be beautiful for YouTube, because the audience there respects the art of sitting and listening to what you have to say. So when you try to understand what type of content to post on different platforms, again, go back to some data. There is data out there that shows you what is the optimal time for the content that you produce for different platforms. So to give you an example, Instagram is 30 seconds. Now you still do have room for longer content on Instagram with IGTV and IG Live, and which is an IGTV, and there is room for it. So I would say that you can go up to like 3 minutes. There's not a lot of information on IGTV lengthwise, but it's something that is still very much welcome to do. But if you are posting to the feed video that will be very dynamic, you want to keep it to up to 30 seconds. With Facebook, it shows that best practice is to create videos up to 1 minute long. TikTok, 15 to 30 seconds. Right now they did introduce this whole 3-minute length of a video, but I don't know where it's going, and it will be interesting to see if it's going to be a success for them. Again, people's attention span getting smaller. And then for YouTube, it ranges between 42 seconds to 10 minutes. So you truly have a pretty big playground to play on. And I found that for me, it's always a sweet spot between 7 to 15 minutes. But it depends on the content that you are sharing. So for my family vlogs or kind of event vlogs, that's when I kind of push it to the 15-minute mark, as long as it's engaging and dynamic and I can tell my story. And then with things that are more informative, educational, style tips, lookbooks, things like that, I prefer to keep it short and sweet. So I really kind of focus on keeping it up to 10 minutes. So when I say dynamic, I don't only mean by the format of the content or the length of the content that you're posting. Dynamic also refers to the subjects you want to talk about. So for me, I from the beginning had to sit down and really write down my pillars. I knew that I won't be too niche, like with one subject that I'm gonna be all about that, because I didn't want to pigeonhole myself. Also, it wasn't authentic for me, and I'm very happy about it because it really helped me to create space for me to grow with the content. Doing social media 5-6 years now, I was able to jump from kind of one pillar to the other that I have in case I'm kind of over talking about fashion or about beauty or about wellness, and I'm extremely grateful for it. But there's definitely no doubt a huge advantage to having a specific niche to become an expert. So it really depends on you. What do you see for yourself? Do you want to put yourself in a very specific niche to become an expert in that specific subject? That is amazing. If you want to give yourself a little bit more options and a longer run, at least that's how it feels for me personally, I would create a few pillars that you really are really passionate and interested about and go with that. Make the most out of your content. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely love video content and what I feel is so beneficial for content creators. Content creators, I mean all of us, we work so hard to create something that's substantial, to entertain people, and it takes a lot of work behind the scenes. So what is so great about video content is the fact that you can repurpose it and use it on other platforms that you're on, but edit the content more natively to that specific platform. So when we create our long form YouTube videos, we actually pull a lot of different aspects from that video that we think will do really well as a standalone piece of content, and we share it on TikTok, we share it on Instagram, we share it as YouTube Shorts, and that requires less lift from me as the content creator to come up with more and more ideas, and really puts more on the editing work. But then again, you already have the content, it's just sitting there, so you really want to make the most out of it. And it's actually pretty amazing to see how sometimes one aspect of the video that you pulled can create a whole other source of inspiration for your next coming content. And it happened a lot for us with the YouTube videos. I kind of went through the comments on, and I do that often, I go through the comments on YouTube videos and see specific moments that people really got attached to, that comment specifically about that moment. And that was for me an indication that that specific piece of content really resonated with people. So I pulled it out and I felt like it's definitely strong enough to stand on its own, and we put it on Instagram, and it became a whole series of either fashion stuff or family moments that people really loved, and it truly inspired to continue create things that are a bit more proven to my audience. Connecting to your audience. I found that that's what really attracted me to YouTube when I started social media. When I moved from the written word, which I felt like I couldn't really show my personality, I was editing myself and my words way too much, and it just wasn't authentic. When I moved to YouTube, to video format, it really gave me the opportunity to showcase who I am, all my quirks and my grammar mistakes, and what made Valeria Valeria. And that's why I think I'm so connected to video, because it truly was the first time that I shared myself with the world. I think that it's a little bit more difficult to do when you have either photos or things that are not necessarily face-to-face. So I always recommend and try to do myself as many in-person, face-to-face video content. If it's lives that are always a great opportunity to speak directly to your audience, if it's stories where answering your questions, or answering on TikTok when someone comments, you can do a video answer for that comment. I love anything on IG stories, and we see when IG stories truly connect your community together to you, because it's way more informal. It feels like they truly are with you, kind of going through your day with you. So it has a real power when it comes to building a community. It's extremely important when you connect to your audience to go through DMs, to go through comments, to see if there's any repetitive comments or suggestions or things like that that you can pull from. Your audience is truly your best guide when it comes to content that they want to see. I think that sometimes as creatives, we want to create a lot of things, and sometimes those things don't really resonate with our audience. And I always say it has to be a balance. It has to be something that's proven by your audience that they truly love, and also a little bit of you and newness, and continue to reinvent yourself. And another great resource for video is lives. I actually discovered lives during COVID, the first lockdown that was happening. I really wanted to find a way where I can educate myself, have experts speak to me, but also share it with the audience and learn along the way, alongside with the audience. So lives has been an amazing tool to continue engage my community, continue nourish the connection that we have, and share amazing valuable information through having all these great experts on my Instagram lives. And that would be everything. You can find me at Valeria Lipovetsky on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and I hope I'll see you next year.